Oops. Okay. For the next 3 weeks, we're going to be starting the Big Six research process in English. This is going to be a process that we're going to go through together, but this slideshow and this flip video is to kind of let you know what that process is going to look like so that as we go through it, you're more familiar with the different stages. Let's move this out of the way. All right, so the Big Six inquiry process. Why is this so important? These are 6 steps that are going to make your life much easier when you're searching for information. As we all know, we are surrounded by information, whether it is on our iPhone, internet, our iPad, wherever we can connect to the internet, we are surrounded by it. So if you learn these 6 steps, you can apply them to any question or problem you need to solve. Step 1 is task definition. This is where you're asking yourself, what is the task and what types of information do I need? So the first step, and we're going to do this in class tomorrow, is to clearly identify the requirements of the assignment by carefully reading and rereading the directions in the rubric. So what is the assignment asking you to do? After you've done that, it's time for you to formulate researchable questions to fill the need for information on that specific topic. So what do I want to find out? For you in class, because you're going to be researching the Galapagos Islands, that's going to be what specific questions within your larger subject are you going to need to ask? What kinds of information are you going to need to look for? Step 2 is where you develop information-seeking strategies. So what are possible sources that you can look for, and which ones are the best? So the first step with step number 2 is you need to create that research plan. Where will you find answers to your questions? What kinds of sources? Are they going to be journal articles? Is it going to be interviews? And then you list the best resources available to you. You have to consider all those possible resources, though, before you make that decision. So where are you going to find these sources? Step 3 is where we move into our locate and access of our resources. So where is each source and where is the information in each source? What you need to do is follow that research plan that you created in step 2. You either have to go to the library, use the internet, conduct a survey, whatever method you need to use to get the information that you need. Step 4. Step 4 is our use of information. So how can I best use each source? What information is in each source is useful? So with each source you find, you're going to have a lot of information, and you need to know how to pick and choose that information so that you're not getting irrelevant information. As you are searching through this information, you have to record that information by taking notes using index cards or a word processor or notebook paper or graphic organizer, or if you're doing an interview, tape recording. As you are doing this, you need to make sure you are paraphrasing or putting the information in your own words. Also, consider how you're going to give credit to your sources. If you don't give credit to your sources, that's plagiarism, which is illegal. It's against the law. So make sure you record your information using your source cards. Step 5 is synthesis. How can you organize all that information that you found? How can you present those results? So the synthesis part is that's the actual creation part, where you combine the information from your various sources in order to create a product. And this could be any of the following: a paper, an oral presentation, a multimedia project, a performance, or even a documentary. In this case, it's going to be a multimedia project. What you're going to be doing is creating a website with your group. So this is where you formulate your thesis, arguments, commentary, conclusion, and supporting details. Step 6 is where you evaluate. It's always important to look back at what we've done and ask ourselves, did we complete the task? And how can we do things better? What did we do well? So before turning in the assignment, ask yourself the following questions. Did I follow the requirements of the assignment stated in the rubric and directions? Does the information gathered in steps 4 and 5 answer the questions presented in step 1? Did I give credit to my sources using proper APA format? Is my work neat, polished, and presentable? And would I be proud to publish my work? So, I know a lot of things that you do in school, you ask yourself, well, how is this going to help me throughout my life? So how can the Big Six help you throughout your life? We are constantly seeking information, and we have that nearly infinite source at our fingertips. So how are we going to use that information to make good decisions? In a few years, you have to decide things like, which college should I choose? Or if you get a job, how can I communicate my ideas clearly to my boss? So with these questions, you need to do research to come up with an appropriate decision. And school research is like training wheels for real life. So if you follow the big steps of the big six, they will not fail you and will help you to make those best decisions. Also, when we think about sifting through all that information, we need to know something about information literacy, which is that ability to recognize when that information is needed and the ability to locate, evaluate, and use information effectively. This is going to help you reach conclusions, make choices, and communicate more effectively. So in other words, we really need to improve those searching and evaluating skills because we live in that era of technology. So review of the big six. Make sure you look over the steps that you're familiar with them. Like I said, we're going to be working on that step of task management tomorrow. And as we go through the next 3 weeks, through our steps of trying to figure out what kinds of research we need in order to write these persuasive essays. So speaking of our persuasive essays, your project. You are going to be writing and researching a persuasive letter that revolves around the Galapagos Islands, since we will be going there in a few weeks' time. You're going to be, depending on your class, accepting the point of view of one of the characters involved in the protection of the Galapagos Islands, or the discovery, I believe block 4. So go through these following slides that correspond with your block number in order to understand your individual project. What this is going to look like on a small scale is, on an individual scale, is you writing your own persuasive letter, but working together with a group of individuals who are working on the same research topic. Of course, to persuade anyone, we need research, so that's where our research component comes in. So your individual final product will be a persuasive letter. However, the group's final project will be putting those persuasive letters together on a website using this Web 2.0 tool called Weebly, which we'll talk about more later. So make sure you go ahead and read through your block's project so that you know specifically what you need to prepare for. And then tomorrow you will be able to manage your task. You'll be able to figure out what you need to do. So make sure you look over this. There might be a quiz on this tomorrow, and I will see you then.